I'm going to talk about SQL Server Reporting Services, or some people call it SRS, if you've heard that term, or SSRS. There are more than 250 SQL Reporting Services reports that come pre-built with Dynamics GP. There are about 200 or more of those Excel reports that are built with GP, and there are 250 or more built into SSRS reports that are built in. The great thing about SSRS reports is that you don't require a GP license. You can actually access these reports via a web browser. They're very customizable, but I will say this, one more thing, they certainly provide you with the ability to pull data from multiple sources. So you can pull from multiple companies, from multiple data sources. As we were talking about the Smart List Builder and its ability to pull from multiple data sources, we can do the same thing with SQL Reporting Services. So keep that in mind. Security is based on Active Directory, so that's a little different than some of the other reporting tools. The reports can be easily exported to Word, Excel, PDF, or image files. And I don't know if any of you on this call are actually accountants that have had to face an auditor who says, I want my AR aging and I want it in a spreadsheet. Some really cool ways to do that using SSRS. Also, you can design reports that allow drill down functionality, which I think is very powerful as well. And we'll actually look at an example of this. The other thing that's, I think, an advantage of this tool is it is a universal tool that's not GP specific. So really, SQL Server Reporting Services can be used on any SQL application. It's not just a GP thing. And also, if it's connected to Exchange reports, can be emailed on a schedule. So maybe a little bit of the downside, and it's really the same downside as some of the other tools, is that to create these reports, if you're creating new reports, not using the out-of-the-box ones, but creating new ones, you do have to have some knowledge of Dynamics GP tables. So it also requires resources that are familiar with SQL Server and SSRS to develop and maintain your reports. So it's not as simple as like a management reporter where you really just need to know your chart of accounts and your account groups and things like that. It's not quite as simple as a regular Smart List because a lot of things are in common English, but it is a great tool. And once you understand the patterns of the Dynamics GP tables and where the data resides, it becomes a really powerful tool for you. So ease of use is more moderate to difficult, depends on the user. The common user is a financial analyst, a controller, a transactional user. And so we see a lot of like inventory status reports, maybe some fixed asset depreciation detail, project time by employee. There's a lot of examples of where this kind of thing is used. So here's an example of a report that we did that's an, oops, I'm sorry. An example of an AR aging in summary. I'm going to actually show you that report here in just a second. This is actually where you can go out and access these SSRS reports beyond out or outside of GP. You can actually access them via a browser and go directly to them. And so let's go ahead and let's take a moment and let's exit out. We're going to go over to Dynamics. And so I'm going to start with sales. And I wanted to point a couple things out here. So first of all, we've talked a lot about accessing reports directly from GP or outside of GP. So I'm going to start by saying if I go to Financial, and I talked about being able to produce my management reporter reports inside of GP, there's an option in this top left-hand box called Management Reporter Reports. Once you have this path set up to your reports, and then I'll get a list of all of the reports that I have there. If I go down to Sales, I'll show you that we also have Excel reports. And so I could click on the Excel reports here, and these are the built-in reports. You can create your own as well, add them to the list. So once I bring up that list of reports, and it takes just a moment, I'm going to show you a sales dashboard that's here, and then we'll jump into the SQL Server reports. So you can see here is a number of reports that actually come with the system. And if I go down here a little further, I see that I have a sales dashboard, and I can view that report right in Excel. So this is an example of a report that is out of the box. Nothing's been done to it. And so one thing that's really nice about this is that, say for instance, I want to tweak the dates on this report. Excel now has some new functionality that allows us to move the dates, and it will redraw my numbers. You can see down here that we have data elements behind it, but these get created automatically by Dynamics GP and get refreshed automatically each time you launch the report. So that's Excel. And now what I wanted to show you then is reporting services reports. And these are all available from this area that we'll call navigation lists. So you can see here that I have a navigation list that goes to my reporting services reports. You can see right here that I have an age trial balance that I can mark. I have the ability to view it and launch it right out of Dynamics GP. And so in a second here, you'll see that it'll come up and it'll ask me for the details. I can tell it which customers. I can sort by names and classes and salespeople and sales territories, etc. I just picked one customer, and then I can view the report. And notice that I'm in a web browser right here. And there's my aging report. Now, in regards to how easy is it to get this to Excel, I simply can click here and say Excel, and that report will get dropped right into Excel. And I can open up Excel, and there you go. So this is an example of some flexibility and some functionality that I think is real for people who need to be able to drop their data into Excel. Okay, and that actually came directly from a pre-built SQL Reporting Services report. Okay, so there's the report, dropped it into Excel. I could also make it a PDF or anything else. All right, so that's SQL Reporting Services reports. And again, I think some of the value this brings to you is the ability to do it outside of GP, so I'm going to show you that real quickly. So I'm going to close this, and this is the window where I can actually come in, and I happen to have all of my data for this company right here under 2, and so then when I drill into that, it will then give me a list of the different reports that I need to get to. There we go. So now I could have gotten to that same report going here to sales, and there's my accounts, my age trial balance report detail. That's the report I just produced. So, and I never would have had to go into GP to create that report.